Hello, everybody. How are you doing today? My name is Tony Rizano, and you are listening to another episode of the world famous University Love, the best podcast in one, two, three galaxies. But, ladies and gentlemen, you know how we just call this online marketing moves. And we are coming to you live today. Ladies and gentlemen, yesterday I noticed the recording, it had a few static a few bad static situations. So today we will try to clear that up. A lot of times, I tend to move around when talking. Sometimes I grab the microphone, but today, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to stay still and we are going to record. We are going to get this thing eradicated, okay? Now, what I really need is one of those microphone stands to come down, and I just talk from that, and then I can move it because the I have a lot of movement. We don't. I don't. Yeah, I got to do video, but even in the videos, you will see in the future there'll be a lot of hand movements. There'll be a lot of hand gestures. I'm moving my hand right now as I'm talking to you. But today, ladies and gentlemen, we have a very impactful show. Today, we have a very important show for you. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to talk about, are you institutionalized? What do I mean by that, ladies and gentlemen? Have you have you done something for so long? You get so used to it. You get so ingrained into it that it becomes a part of you, and you don't know what to do. You don't know how to walk away, when to walk away, why to walk away. What should I do? The reason why I bring this up is because I got to thinking. Ladies and gentlemen, I have put a date on when I am going to stop officially driving all the time. You know, I, you know, yeah, I do it off and on. It will come, do it a little bit, go back, do it a little bit, go back. Ladies and gentlemen, enough is enough. And I had to laugh because I thought about the movie Shawshank Redemption, and there's two parts of Shawshank Redemption, and they talk about being institutionalized. One, the older man Brooks, they let him go, they release him. He goes to the grocery store. He's in like a little halfway house. He doesn't like it. He doesn't know what to do. He hangs himself. He because in the prison he was an important guy. And so when he got out, time has because a lot of the times I worked at a prison, and a lot of times, ladies and gentlemen, when people get out, they go in at a certain time, or you go in, you have to become a different person in prison. You have to you you are you are the same person, but you're different. And a lot of times like time freezes, so it's a weird situation when you get out. Imagine, imagine you going to jail. Imagine you going to prison in 19. I'm gonna say me. Imagine me going to prison in 1998. There was no the internet was around, but it wasn't. There was not. You didn't need to be on the internet. Okay, you could still call your favorite pizza place on the telephone, and they would answer the phone. And they would say, "Hey, there was cell phones was around, but you know, you didn't need a cell phone." So imagine you going to jail for a period of, let's say 10, even 5 years, things change. But imagine you going to jail for 15 years, 20 years. You get out, and the world has just changed. The world has just evolved, and you've been just in the same place for a while now. Imagine that. And that's what it's like when you start to, right. Yeah, I've been driving trucks off and on since 2005. Okay? And so I was I would laugh. I started to laugh, and I thought, you know, uh, because in my mind, and, I got to thinking about this one day when I was driving. I was driving, I recorded, and then I started driving, and then I thought, man, the worst kind of person, the worst, you know, the you don't want to be double minded. You don't want to be, you're in, you're out, you're in, you're out. It's like, hey, um, I don't want pod, I don't want broadcasting, I don't want being a publisher. I don't want that to be a side job. I want that to be the main thing. And so, in order to really, you know, go and really thrive and really flourish, you got to get rid of something. And so, the trucking got to go. I don't like it anyway. I never have. I did at one point, but it doesn't matter, and it does not matter. It's not a bitterness. It's not a. It's not. It's not. It's just like, all right, make a full blown commitment. Make a full blown commitment. Stick to it and ride it out. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell you right now. I have in my calendar. I have May the 13th will be my last day ever in a truck. May 13th, 2025. Come out and see me. No, I'm just playing. But May 13th, 2025, it will be the last day that I will drive a truck. And after that, we will kill all double-mindedness. God don't like lukewarm. I don't like lukewarm. You don't like lukewarm. Pick a side. Pick any side. Pick a side. Pick a side. Pick a side. When they had the Civil War, there was no. I can see where the North is coming from, and I can see where the South is coming from. Hey, you a Union, you a Confederate. You a Union, you a Confederate. World War II, you fought with the Germans in Japan, or you with America and Britain. There's no in between. There's no straddle the fence. There's none of that. Okay, and so I understand that. But you do something for so long, and you get comfortable with something for so long. Because I had a conversation with my brother one day. My brother, he's been working in a warehouse. He's been working in a warehouse since I got out of the Navy. So my brother has been working in a warehouse environment for the last about 25 to 30 years. And my brother one day said, man, I'm getting kind of tired of working in this warehouse. And I said, what you going to do about it? He's like, ain't nobody else going to hire me for nothing. And I was like, well, you could always, create something. He's like, gave me a look like, man, shut up. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I would tell all of you, it does not matter. We are, we are on this earth to bear fruit. It doesn't matter if it's children. It doesn't matter if it's, the creative side. It does not matter. But we are here for the greater. We are here for the greater. We are here for great things. Okay. We are here for greatness. It doesn't have. Like I told you, money. People always think money, 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 but it's not about the money. Whenever I do this podcast, whenever I write, whenever I do anything creative, it makes me happy. It gives me joy. It gives me pleasure. When I do this show, I do the writing, when I do the poetry, I feel the creative juices going. It makes me happy. When I drive the truck, it does not make me happy. It's something that I'm used to. It's something that I do. Something that I'm good at. I appreciate it. I have appreciation for the job. I have appreciation for the career. I have appreciation for anybody who wants to do this until they're, like 80, 90 years old. I read this article. This guy, he was like 90 years old, and he's still driving trucks. God bless him. Something that I don't want to do. I don't even want to do it when I'm 50. I definitely don't want to do it before my daughter goes into kindergarten, and that is going to be next year. So I told myself, by the time she got to kindergarten, I was going to be out of the truck doing whatever I want to do. And here we are. And sometimes you have to set a date. Sometimes you have to make it happen. You just have to say, hey. But getting back to Shawshank Redemption. So Brooks, he hung himself. He didn't like the outside world. He said, forget this. Red Boyd Ellis, Red. He was like, hey. He said, hey, sign the paper, Sonny. I don't give a shit what you do. And they accepted his parole. They approved his parole. He got out. And I remember the funniest part, one of the funniest parts of the movie, he said, bathroom break, boss? And the guy said, hey, you ain't got to tell me every time you got to piss. Just go piss. And so he said, I can't squeeze a drop of piss without asking for permission. I've been doing it for 40 years. Okay? And so Red was like, I'm an institutionalized man. I don't know what to do. I'm thinking about breaking my parole so I can go back because inside the prison, Red was a somebody. And we all know that, ladies and gentlemen. It's like whenever I train people in the truck before, you always sit there and you're like, they're like, man, you know how to back, man, you do this, you do that. It's like, yes, Gumshoe, I know what I'm doing. But it took time, until you get to a point where you're comfortable and you're happy. But it's like, who wants that? If you're comfortable, you never want to be that comfortable in life where you're just going through the motions. So if you enjoy your job, you enjoy your job. My mom, she wanted to be a nurse when she was a kid. She said that's what she wanted to do. That was her profession. She did it. She did it for 40 years. She's very happy to do it. My mom, she was always happy about going to work. My mom worked a night shift her last 8-9 years. While she worked, she was happy. She was like, hey, this is the job I wanted. This is the job I always wanted, And I was like, oh, that's great. Congrats. Me personally, I fell into truck driving on my own accord, of course. But I'll tell you this. I was happy at first, but then it's like, no. And then you get to a point where you're like, how do you get out of it? And you think to yourself, how am I going to get out of it? But then you have to realize, Gumshoe, it does not matter. If you want to get out of something, you get up, you walk out. You make plans, you figure things out, and away you go. And you just take action. Action cures all phobias, it cures all fears, it cures all everything. So I just started writing, started posting, started making blogs. Like, okay, I can do this. And you start getting feedback. And it's the same as the podcast. You start to get feedback. You say, okay, people enjoy the podcast. You get a sponsorship and you go, okay, I see it. I see where this is going. You get over you start to run away from the institution that you have created in your mind. And so Red, he jumped parole. He said, man, I remember what I told Andy. I told Andy if I got out, I was gonna hook up with him. We was gonna run a little charter boat down in Mexico. So Red said, enough is enough. I'm done with all this. He jumped bail, got on the bus, rode down to Fort Hancock, Texas, crossed the other side, saw his friend, and Red probably lived his life, the rest of his life, the happiest he ever lived his life. Okay? Why? Because Red took action. Red said, I don't want to be institutionalized. Forget asking permission to piss. I am on my own. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I tell you that story. I tell you all this. I tell you about me. I tell you about Red. I tell you about Brooks to say, it does not matter where have you been. It does not matter where you're going. What do you want to do right now? All we can do, ladies and gentlemen, not to get preachy with you, all we can do is live in the present moment. What do you want to do right now? What do you want to do right now? Okay? What do you want to do right now? What do you want to do? Get you ladies and gentlemen, I have a legal pad that I have 2 or 3 legal pads. So every day I just write things out. I write things out that I want to do. Where do I want to go? Only thing that I want to do these days is create businesses, create customers, create income, create the biggest email list that I can get, the most active email list that I can get, create time for myself, create financial freedom for myself. That's where I'm at. Create. Where are you at? What do you want to do? And what do you want to do? How do you want to do it? Why do you want to do it? Where do you want to do it? Get up, write something down, come up with a plan, formulate, capitulate, and get it moving, okay? The train does not matter. The train moves 2 miles an hour. It does not matter. The train moves 20 miles an hour. Ladies and gentlemen, the point is get the train get the train on the tracks and get the train to moving. Because eventually you will build up plenty. You ever seen a train? Eventually you will build up plenty of steam and you will get that thing moving. You will be rocking and rolling in no time. Okay? Ladies and gentlemen, do not feel like you're institutionalized. Do not feel like you're stuck. Ladies and gentlemen, go out, be great, do great things. And that is it. That is all. We'll be back tomorrow with another episode of Online Marketing Moves. I appreciate you, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, if this has been staticky, I apologize. We will fix this problem in the next week or so. And in the meantime and in between time, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Tony Rizzano. Thank you for listening. God bless each and every one of you. As always, everybody. Peace.